Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan. Basically, today we are going to talk about 121 part, that is 1 to 1 part of the formula, basically. So, here basically we were discussing about uh, the Bollywood industry, basically. What actually the Bollywood industry. One more example, I will take one of the Bollywood industry. For example, there is one person, I'm just taking it as an example, it's not pointing to anyone else. For example, there is one Bollywood, one person basically. He was basically staying in India. He was basically till basically 1990. Basically, he was in India, and he had eaten around. Just taking an example, basically, taking eaten around 120 kg of rotis, chapatis, 130 kgs of rice. Overall, basically, till 1990, and his age is basically around in 1990. Basically, his age was around uh, 31. Just taken in as an example. Then, basically, around 200 kgs of vegetables, then 200 kgs of oils, then 100 liters of 1000 liters of water, and his age is basically 31, and around 200 kgs of sugar. So like this, basically there was one certain basically data analysis done by the one data science person, data science project basically that time basically. So basically that time basically he has eaten this everything from India basically. So the power company have the data of that person, and they exactly told that this many items basically he had eaten. So just see basically the power of the Bollywood industry. So this all data basically the Bollywood industry have it. So they basically according to that basically they told that somebody asked basically Bollywood basically, can you please give me the detail of this person, because he is currently not in India. He is exactly where basically that we want to track in 2023. So basically, Bollywood group basically he was till 1990 basically he was in India. So they have given the entire information of that particular person, that this item basically he has eaten. So power company just verified this and they told me, oh great job Bollywood group. Basically up to this level basically information you have. Oh, that's a great job basically. So they told that they basically asked Bollywood and they have verified that yeah, it's correct information. Then they basically sent the energy of that particular person to certain areas basically. That is basically certain countries. So to track basically where exactly that person is. Then basically they sent the information to many countries. Then they were taking back the data also of that energy which was sent basically. So like this basically they were tracked basically that this person is in basically he is in London basically. So they have tracked. So basically like this basically the businessman has asked basically about the particular person. So they basically the power company basically told that yeah, basically this is the information of this particular person. He is in London, and exact information basically we are going to give after certain days basically, because exactly where basically in London, that need to ask to the London power company and energy companies and nuclear plants basically, because they are actually having the exact data basically in which location basically is situation. So like this, they mailed the London branch, that is basically London government, and the London government searched this type of information. This type basically they don't know the name also basically, because his name was also totally changed. He was basically become foreigner. Like this basically he was actually the brother of the one of the Mumbai person basically. Basically in India basically I'm just taking as an example. He was basically from Mumbai. So like this, basically his brother has inquired about where exactly he is. So like that, basically he was in London, and the inquired person was from Mumbai. So he was very rich person basically. Mumbai basically the person basically who has inquired, he was very rich person, and he was paying lots of tax to the government. So like this basically government has given the information, and London government basically told that yeah exactly he is in this block, in this building and this area. So then basically the government, Indian government told a thank you to the London government, and the information of the address basically was passed to that businessman person, and he was told that yeah this person is staying in this location. So like this basically the Bollywood achievement basically which was tracked by the power industry, the energy industry, uh, and the nuclear company basically because they have verified the exactly what the things basically he has eaten and what are the things basically his habit, each and every basically things Bollywood group has tracked. So like this power company has done the verification, and they have given few assignment to the Bollywood group industries. Just you do you Bollywood group, you just take this assignment as an project basically, and in future basically we will take the data as far as we required. So like this basically the Bollywood industry got some big projects. So like this basically they got lots of big projects. Like this the government given big projects, the power companies has given big projects, and the nuclear company power plant basically gave big projects, energy companies basically given some big project. So like this basically the power company, the like this the Bollywood industry got one more source of the income basically. So basically they got some big income based project basically we can say, because if power company gives the project then basically it might not be in lakhs, basically it might be minimum in crore, it might be in crore dollars also, it might be crore pounds also basically. So just imagine the basically uh, the Bollywood industry started the earning the income like this basically each and everything was um, controlled by the Bollywood group industry, and they were tracking each and everything, each and every stuff basically. So like this basically the Bollywood told that we have actually started the data science project, not the not the not the software industry. And the software industry actually one of the from one of the stories of our movies and Bollywood industry, we have created the software industry. And in software industry basically data science is one of the small project basically you can say, and this was basically tracked in 1990s. So in 1990s basically the data science project we were doing. So you can just imagine the data science architects basically you can say, the base architect basically of which is designed, which currently basically in software industry the groups are designing from certain ideas basically which are getting from the set of energies basically which is supplied by the power companies. Basically I have taken one example of the um, chartered accountant group basically how basically things are getting in there, and I have taken one example of the new project basically which was launched by the certain groups, and that which was basically done R&D by the certain groups, and then it was launched to the Accenture and TCS. Like this they got some 4 ways of the project basically. Like this basically they have created 16 ways, and from 16 ways they have got the 4 ways. So that example basically I have given. So exactly same that example, the Bollywood industry have done all the R&Ds, all the stuff basically. On the base of that, basically the ideas was basically passed to the data science project group, basically that are basically software industry group, basically you can say. So like this, basically, if I say that each and every software, basically that is there, Microsoft, Salesforce, C++, then COBOL, Pascal, mainframe, Java, Microsoft. Like this, basically, each and every company, basically, which is created as a base company. So their idea, basically, also might be passed through Bollywood group is all only basically you can say, that is basically the Bollywood energy basis. So because the Bollywood groups are basically telling, they have told that basically in basically one of the interview basically somebody has told that basically that software industry basically we have created. So like this basically you can see basically like this the one of the stories of the movies basically on that basic base basically the all the base companies were created. and then the data science project was basically created. Then basically each and every system basically, that are CRM, ERP, billing, then banking domain softwares, each and every domain software, each and every domain which exists in this world, basically more than 1,000 domains are there. Insurance domain, banking domain, investment domain, inventory domains. So like this, basically each and every domains are there in this world basically. ERP domain is there, e-master domain is there, like this payroll domain is there. So each and every domains are there in this world basically. So that all basically are basically getting the ideas from the Bollywood industry's energy, and that is basically captured by the software industry basically. So you can just imagine the power industry of the Bollywood industry, which they are passing to the software industry. So here basically what the things basically came into picture. The things basically that came into picture is the sequence of the power basically, which is getting passed. So this is basically also the new project both for the software industry basically, you can say. This project does not exist basically in this world basically. So the power which is getting passed from one sector to another sector, and on the base of that passed power sector basically, passed data by the power one sector, which is basically absorbed by the another sector. Like for example, Bollywood groups have created each and every data science project, each and every base software basically, their stories, each and everything basically they have created, right? So they basically have an ideas, they have the power of that entire basically which it's created basically. So that basically power basically they are going to pass to the software industry. So here basically source power is basically that is Bollywood, and the getting power basically which is which software which groups are taking that power, that is basically software industry. So like this basically the chain of power, you can say, chain of ideas basically, chain of ideas, chain of energies basically, you can say. So that basically is basically getting passed from one sector to another sector. So like this, the powers are basically ideas are it's getting passed from one sector to another sector. So like this is basically one of the key project basically, you can say, for the software industry basically. This only software industry can do basically, because it's has to track each and everything, each and every reports have to create. So that basically mostly software, in the software only basically this can able to create. So for that basically this might be the one of the biggest project basically, you can say, which might be containing lots of information and which might generate lots of income also, lots of income basically. And basically software industry can't imagine basically. So lots of people are telling that we are basically layoffing the people, we are firing the people because we don't have work. So this is basically one of the biggest work basically, you can say. If any software company can take this project, then basically it's good for software industry basically, you can say. So this project is might be going will be going to be one of the biggest project basically, you can say, because it's a software chain basically, you can not software chain, chain of the ideas basically, you can say, from where the ideas are getting, the source of the idea basically, you can say, from where actually exactly the source of idea is getting. So this is basically one of the biggest project basically, you can say. So like this basically this is 121 part, and in 120 is 20 and 121 part, and 122 part basically we are going to see a little bit more about the Bollywood industry, formula, attributes, and the balance sheet of the each and every attributes.